In the late summer of 1398, the newborn Joseon dynasty nearly collapsed into itself. Prince Yi Bang-won mobilized his private armies and slaughtered his younger half-brothers, along with the kingdom's top political advisors, in a night of targeted violence known as the First Strife of the Princes. King Taizhou, the fierce military founder of Joseon, was devastated by the fratricide. Disgusted by his son's actions and grieving the loss of his designated heir, the aging monarch withdrew from politics and abdicated the throne. This created an immediate, dangerous political vacuum. Prince Bang-won held all the military leverage, but seizing the crown immediately after a palace massacre would paint him as an illegitimate usurper. He needed a placeholder. His solution was to force his older surviving brother, Yi Bang-won, who we know today as King Jeongjong, to accept the royal seal. King Jeongjong's kingship didn't follow the normal rules of royal succession. It was a role born out of raw political necessity, placing a king on the throne while the actual power remained in his brother's hands. History often assumes that a monarch who accepts a placeholder role must be weak, perhaps a frail scholar easily bullied by his more ambitious siblings. But King Jeongjong was a career soldier. Born in 1357, he spent his youth sleeping in military encampments and surviving the brutal collapse of the previous Goryeo dynasty. He spent decades fighting alongside his father. Jeongjong led elite units to repel Japanese Woko pirates along the coast and held the northern frontiers against incursions from the Red Turban rebels. This creates a paradox. Why would a seasoned field commander, a man who had faced down thousands of enemy troops in open combat, quietly take orders from his younger brother? For Jeongjong, accepting the crown wasn't an act of cowardice. It was a strategic surrender, a way to navigate a family conflict he knew he couldn't win through force alone. When Jeongjong took the throne in the autumn of 1398, his position was grim. He was surrounded by the exact same soldiers who had just executed his half-brothers. His first move was to abandon the new capital of Hanyang. The palace grounds were associated with the recent bloodshed, and the proximity to his brother's base of power kept court paranoia high. In early 1399, he moved the royal court back to the old capital of Kaesong. It was an attempt to neutralize the tension and put distance between the court and the site of the recent fratricide. Relocating the capital was a physical manifestation of his survival strategy. By changing the environment, he bought the court a brief reprieve from the immediate shadow of the massacre. Despite his precarious position, Jeongjong utilized his short time in Kaesong to implement administrative changes that would outlast his own reign. He established the Uijangbu, or State Council. This dismantled fragmented aristocratic councils, centralizing executive power into three clear pillars. It shifted the government away from hereditary privilege toward a hierarchical system his successors used to strengthen the monarchy. But bureaucratic progress couldn't stop familial ambition. In January 1400, another of Jeongjong's younger brothers, Bang-gon, launched the Second Strife of Princes to seize control for himself. The rebellion was brief. Bang-won deployed his superior private forces, crushed Bang-gon's troops in the streets, and sent his brother into exile, once again demonstrating that he was the kingdom's true military power. Witnessing this second civil war confirmed Jeongjong's assessment. As long as he wore the crown, he was a target for whoever wanted to challenge his brother. In November 1400, after ruling for just over 2 years, Jeongjong made a pragmatic choice. He voluntarily abdicated the throne. He officially named his brother Bang-won as his crown prince and physically handed over the royal seal. Jeongjong transitioned into the role of Sangwang, or King Emeritus, a purely ceremonial title that carried zero political or military authority. By giving Bang-won exactly what he wanted, Jeongjong removed himself from the board. He had traded his title for the one thing the crown couldn't guarantee: his life. While Bang-won took the throne as King Taejong and spent 18 years purging his own in-laws and advisors to secure his power, Jeongjong chose a different path. He withdrew completely from public life. Residing in a secluded residence, he focused on hunting and polo, staying away from any activity that could be interpreted as political ambition. The result was an outcome few in his family achieved. While the royal court remained a site of constant purges, Jeongjong died of natural causes in 1419 at age 62, the longest-lived of all of Taejo's sons. He is often remembered as a figurehead, but he managed to navigate a path between two fratricidal wars without being consumed by either. By abdicating voluntarily, he provided the one thing the new dynasty lacked: a peaceful, bloodless transfer of authority. Through a calculated retreat, King Jeongjong ensured that he and the dynasty survived the violence of its inception.